Mike Owens and Inside Fighting, joined today by Modestas Bukauskas, who returns to action at UFC Seattle, facing Raffael Cirqueira. Modestas, always a pleasure, my man. How are things at you today?
Oh, thank you so much, mate. Yeah, always a pleasure talking to you. Yeah, doing well, mate. Tired but good. Tired but in a good
The
way.
last time we would have spoke, if you remember, I bumped into you in the UFC 304 Fighter Hotel in Manchester. So it's good to finally catch you
Yes.
in person. But how are your emotions ahead of your return?
Um, Sorry, on my emotions on the return. What in Manchester?
No, in Seattle.
Oh, in Seattle. Sorry. Yeah, mate. I mean, fucking. It's good to finally get back out there again. Obviously, I thought I would have fought a little bit earlier, considering that I fought only once last year, and that was in July. So obviously, I would have hoped to have fought at least one more before the end of the year. But at the end of the day, everything always happens at the right time. Do you know what I mean? Everything happens when it's supposed to, and it just meant that I could upgrade my skill sets even more leading up to this fight. Maybe more hungry, maybe more motivated, watching all the other fighters and all the other events go on. So yeah, mate. Like I said, I'm just raring to go now.
This is your first US show that's not taken place in the Apex. This is the first time you will perform in front of the American fans, which is what the UFC is built off. How excited are you to fight in Seattle?
Oh, mate. Like initially, you would think like, oh well, there's the London card. Like surely Modestas would be on that one. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, because we went out with a massive bang in the Manchester card. So you would have thought, oh yeah, I'll definitely fight there. And for some people, they're asking, oh, isn't it a bit of a shame? But just like you just said just now, this is like my US debut. You know, the company is built in America. So obviously, if you want to be heard and you want to get your name out there, the best place to do it is in America. So yeah, mate, fighting in front of a crowd, exactly in front of a stadium, not at the Apex. Yeah, we're gonna show the Americans what's up. You know what I mean? Show us how we do things across the waters.
Before we talk about this next fight, I want to bring you back to Manchester. Was your performance at UFC 304 the biggest or best win of your career?
I definitely wouldn't say it's the best because getting caught by a head kick is never a sign that you're having a good performance. But you know, obviously, I weathered the storm and everything. I was able to do more things. I was able to show that I can. You know, that I got resting. I was able to get the takedown. You know, going through adversity and stuff like this. But I haven't put on like I say, like a really my only like really clean performance that I feel in my head is the Tyson Pedro fight. So I need to put on another like clinical, clean performance just like that. You know, it would have went that way had I not just went a little bit mad and looked for the finish and then got a head kick. But at the end of the day, it was a good performance. But I know I can definitely do a lot better than that.
We'll be right back to the video, fight fans, but first, big announcement because UFC 312 is coming up this weekend in Sydney, Australia. We're going down under for some Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis, a rematch for the UFC middleweight title, and Inside Fighting has partnered up with our friends over at DraftKings to get you guys closer to all the action. And right now, new DraftKings customers who go download the DraftKings Sportsbook app can bet $5 and receive $200 of bonus bets instantly if you sign up using our promo code Inside Fighting. Stay in on the action and use your $200 in bonus bets of DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets together from the same game and get in on the action that way. If you love the thrill of live betting, DraftKings has you covered with live markets like Fight to Go the Distance, making watching fights that much more exciting. And if sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry about it. Just go play DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports. Get in on all the action there. Again, in honor of UFC 312, new DraftKings customers who go download the DraftKings Sportsbook app can bet $5 and receive $200 of bonus bets instantly using our promo code Inside Fighting.
Well, let's talk about your next opponent. What do you think he does well, and where are some areas you're looking to exploit in this one?
Yeah, so it's no secret that he's mainly a striker. That's what he likes to do, switches stances all the time. Similar to myself, very bouncy on his feet. He's fought heavyweight as well before. He's got a couple of submission wins. He's training with Jailton Almeida, so obviously you can expect his ground game, his wrestling to be good also. But I mean, like I say, there's nothing that like really stands out to me. Obviously, he's got his dangerous parts, like, mainly with the striking and the fact that he can switch as well, which, will pose some threats. But realistically, I just have to impose my game plan, put the pressure on him and take him out. So that's what I intend to go and do.
Talking about pressure, was there anything in his last fight against, I believe it's Ibo Aslan, that changed your opinion of him? I think it was his first loss of his career.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's your first fight in the UFC. He was supposed to fight in Contender Series, I think, about 3 times, and then finally they decided to book him a fight. It's different. Do you know what I mean? Like, even fighting in Contender Series, like, that's giving you a little bit more of a feel of what it's gonna be like, fighting in the UFC. So, whether it was nerves, couldn't pull the trigger early enough or whatever, I kind of just dismissed that performance, really, because I know that, like I say, there's other and the fact that now obviously he's looking to make a big bounce back from that performance, to show everyone, well, listen, hold on a minute, that's not who I am. Like, I want to show what I'm really all about. So you can expect him to come all guns blazing. So, like I say, I'll be ready for that.
This is your 9th fight, I think, in the UFC. How much difference is obviously skill set is one thing, but from a mental standpoint, how different is it making you walk for the first time to where you are now? A veteran's a strong word, but obviously a seasoned pro in the big leagues.
Yeah. Wait till I'm about 34, 35, mate. Then we can start calling me the veteran. Yeah, like, to be honest, when I fought my debut, I actually felt very calm. I felt very good. It was a good performance and everything. I felt like that's naturally where I was supposed to be. But there's a lot of things that happened in between that and then, my next UFC run where I changed. Like, I changed a lot mentally, especially going into fights. Definitely with much more of a warrior spirit mentality. Much more, like I say, going out there to cause damage, not just to win or to compete, but actually to go out there and cause damage. I'm more of a mature man. Although that may be very hard to believe for some people, especially some of my close friends. But I'm like I say, I've developed my skill sets in all areas in MMA, and it just makes me more confident. So I think mentally, physically, spiritually, the whole package of, I've obviously leveled up since the last time. And do you know what I feel like is that I've not made enough noise yet. Obviously having 8 fights in the UFC so far. So definitely the goal for this year is to make some noise.
Well, to that point, mate, you've reversed your form in the last 4 fights to your first 4 fights in the UFC. Your first run, you go 1 win, 3 losses. Now you're going 3 wins and 1 loss. How happy are you with this second run that you've been able to make and the form you've been able to keep in your return?
It's obviously it's the much better outcome. It's something that I've just been building on. Something that I knew that I was capable of, and even the loss against Petrino. Do you know what I mean? There was a lot of moments where I was doing well in that fight as well. So, like I say, I'm just looking to build on that. I'm looking to go and fight for the belt someday. Do you know what I mean? That first run was part of my learning process, part of my growing process, in order for myself to get to where I am now and to where I will be in the future. So, it's definitely a much better outcome in the second run. And like I say, onwards and upwards, I just want to keep making my stake and making my claim up to the top of the division.
I know the primary focus at the moment will be preparing for this fight, but how far away do you feel like you are from maybe a top 15 matchup? I think the Tapology has you ranked around about 26, 27 in the world at the moment. How far away do you feel like you are from getting a fight with a number next to your name?
I feel a big win here, and I want to fight for that top 15. So, like I say, I was calling for it already. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I am worthy of fighting in that category. Do you know what I mean? So even if it means that I win this one and then one more just outside, but realistically, I feel like I should be fighting within the top 15 after this fight. I've had many fights, so I just got to go out there and put on an impressive performance. And if that's the case, then I will get my chance. Just to put it out there, you got Alonzo Menifield fighting Umar Sy. and Menifield's ranked 15, and this is his third fight, the Frenchman's third fight. So, like I say, whether people think you deserve it or you don't, it's the matchups that they want to make. So, like I said, I definitely feel like I deserve to fight within the top 15, especially with the amount of experience I have. But it all really hangs on how well I perform here. So, like I say, I'm very excited and raring to go.
Is there any particular matchups in that 11 to 15 range that particularly interest you? I mean, I'm sure you'd take any one that the UFC give you after this fight, but is the one that you go, that would make realistic sense next?
Yeah, to be honest with you, mate, that Alonzo Menifield fight is a fight that I was thinking, okay, maybe they should make that fight next. And how weird is it that I'm the British guy and I'm not fighting in the UK? But like I say, I take it in full stride because I'm actually very thankful that they made me fight in America because, like I say, it's my chance to bring myself out to the American public because since it's an American company. So I look at it as a good thing. But anyways, enough about that. But yeah, realistically, I was thinking, Alonzo Menifield, Bogdan Guskov, guys like that within that 15 to 10 range. Even Johnny Walker, I remember. I was even thinking about, I think I put it out there on Twitter at some point. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, sorry.
Bless you. Bless you again.
Sorry.
No problem.
Thank you very much. You got to go out there and perform. You got to go out there and prove yourself. And that's what I'm looking to go and do. So, one really big win here. And then, like I say, definitely I'll be knocking on the door of that top 15, which is exactly where I want to be.
You're talking about making changes earlier. You're also now an adopted Northerner because I know you spend a lot of your time up in camps. Evolution Fit.
Haven't quite got the accent though yet, mate.
You're probably a little bit away.
We need to work on that one.
Probably a little bit away from you talking like me and me talking like you, if the truth be told. But I mean, how important is it for you to be able to have a facility or to be able to have somewhere where you can go, where you can train with other 205ers, or in the case of Tom and Mick and some of the others, the heavyweights as well?
Yeah, pretty much a bunch of. Do you know what? Just to add as a bit of a side note, Simeon Powell has been a great addition to my camp. Another 205er, another guy who's who's going to make a stake and a claim in that PFL tournament. Do you know what I mean? So you got a guy who's extremely skillful, who's helping me to level up. He's younger as well, so he's very hungry. So it's funny because he learns things and picks things up very quickly, and then I have to adjust and adapt. And we're both just getting each other better, and we don't even live that far away from each other. So do you know what I mean? It's just been an amazing camaraderie that we've had, and I'm bringing him obviously to Seattle with me as well. So that's been a great, and I've taken him up to Tom's place up with me as well. I mean, look, the first time I messaged Tom, straight away he messaged me. Said, yeah, sure, come down. Here's my dad's number. Go and message him, and then boom, we got it all sorted. And then next thing you know, you got the land of the giants. You know what I mean? Me being the smallest man, which is not often the case. Yeah. And I love it. I love it because it means that you have to constantly level your game up. Do you know what I mean? You have to work on your strength, work on your endurance, work on your technique. And again, with guys like yours, I think that's a very big and vital part of improving your skill, because you can drill things all day long, and don't get me wrong, that's another useful part of training. But I think that's more sort of out of camp to build up your repertoire. But in terms of in camp, you need to be training and sparring and fighting with guys that like I say, are the same size as you or even bigger. You know what I mean? Because you've got to put the stresses of what the fight's going to be in the training room, so that you're going to be prepared for it. So the fact that I'm training with guys, and like I say, I completely understand that this is probably going to be the same in the other guys' camp as well. Do you know what I mean? So you never want to be in a position where you're a foot behind in any aspect. So the fact that I'm training with such high level, I mean, Tom, literally the best heavyweight in the world. You got Mick Parkin as well, who's climbing his way up the ranks as well. Got a big fight coming up. Ante Delia. You got another guy called Martin. I can't remember what his surname is, but another Croatian lad, very good as well. Martin Bude as well, actually, has been up there. Like I say, Simeon. You just got a whole host of absolutely amazing athletes, heavyweights. The room's amazing. Like, there's a good Phil DeFries there as well. I forgot to mention him as well. Paul Elliott. So, do you know what I mean? Like, these are like the cream of the crop. So you can't get anything better. And like I said, it's just good that I've got real good vibes with the lads. Like, you know, that there's like, we click very well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We click very well. Everyone gets on, and everyone's just trying to achieve the highest that they can in the sport. So yeah, and it's amazing that we have that here in this country. Don't have to go nowhere else. We've got it right here. So yeah, loving it.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Wanted to get your thoughts before we finish on the title fight in your division coming up at UFC 313, Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. How do you see that one going down, and what do you think are keys to victory for each man?
Yeah, so it's funny because they talk about Ankalaev being a much better grappler and stuff like this, and then, you know, they have a bit of joke here and there back and forth, say, oh, well, I'm going to stand with you and blah, blah, blah. It's funny because you would think that would be a route to victory. It's like, don't just strike with Pereira, you know what I mean? Like, try and show other parts of the game to make him worry about other things to then, you know, catch him off guard, sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, we haven't really seen much of Ankalaev's grappling, really. I mean, we saw it in the Blachowicz fight when he got his leg sort of beat up a little bit. But in my opinion, I mean, obviously, Blachowicz will be getting ready for that, won't he? He'll be working on the anti-wrestling. He'll be working on his own grappling as well. And obviously, he's got an incredible striking pedigree. You know, been absolutely smashing it lately, you know, beating all the top guys. So I am leaning towards Pereira winning this one. But obviously, Ankalaev is going to be coming in like extremely motivated and hungry to go and grab that title. But like I say, I think right now, especially, this is it seems like this is Alex Pereira's time. So yeah, I'm going to go with him on that fight.
Well, last one from me, mate, and as always, thank you for your time. When you wake up in the morning of February 22nd in Seattle, talk me through what a perfect day looks like from morning to night on fight day itself.
Perfect day. Do you know what? Sometimes it's funny because it's not always about actually waking up feeling fresh like a butterfly. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I've woken up and I've not felt like all that crazy rested or whatever, or, you know, I might have a bit too much carbs from the night before or whatever, and some of those, like, you know, ended up being my best performances. But realistically, yeah, I mean, like, if you're talking about ideally, yeah, I'd like to wake up, you know, feeling fresh, like well rested, get myself a good breakfast, you know, get a nice little workout in as well, just to get the body moving, get the blood flowing and everything. And then just like feeling like relaxed, chilled out, having a coffee, having a chill, and then when it's getting towards fight mode, like, you know, I've got the Blade music playing in my headphones on the way to the arena, warming up, everything going perfect. Like I say, drilling all my moves with Simeon. Got Sebastian, my other training partner, in my corner, my dad, obviously, guiding me through everything, working the drills, you know, getting wrapped, and going out there and absolutely blitzing the guy. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I want to go in there and show my full capabilities. He's dangerous. He's going to be highly motivated in this fight, and I know he will. But it's up to me to like I say, just take away that fire from him, put it on him early, and make him know that he's in for a long night. And ultimately, that's how I see it going, and that's how I would imagine just a perfect day. Just everything from start to finish, feeling good vibes, getting into my warrior mentality, you know, bringing on my ancestral strength and everything, and going out there and doing the job, and then grabbing a couple of shots of vodka afterwards.
I love it, mate. Well, look, it's always good catching up. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great and safe rest of camp, and best of luck for the fight if we don't speak before.
Thank you so much, as always. An absolute pleasure talking to you, mate. And good to catch up.